my dad actually, Charlie, he passed away a few years ago. Charlie Kasuk. He comes from a family that's really musically inclined. I have to giggle because my grandfather Stringer, my dad, Stringer Kasuk, him and his brothers used to play music for square dances, and that's what my dad picked up. They like to play music for square dances and traveling around, and my dad said the reason why they do that is to make people happy. Everybody's so happy and they have a good time, and he actually, I think he was the one that named the Good Time Band with James Rogers and Angus Alunik.
Yeah.
And so I had to giggle because thinking of my grandfather, my dad, one day he got to keep my dad Stringer's accordion, and the only thing I know how to play is this here. Anyhow, my dad comes home and he walks in, and I was sitting in their place. I had the accordion like this, and I'm trying. He looks at me and he says, "Bunnick, what you doing?" I said, "I'm trying out Dad's accordion." He smiles, he leans over the railing, and he says, "Bunnick, you got it upside down." I said, "Oh," and I started packing it up and putting the snaps on. He said, "No, just turn it over and try." I said, "I don't even know nothing about it. I won't make any kind of music." I said, "I'll stick to my guitar."
And you never did try again?
I never picked it up again.
Yeah.
So we come from a long, like many years of musical background. And I remember hearing one of the interviews that Inuvialuit Communication Society did with some ladies who mentioned about my grandfather Stringer and his brothers, and I was so proud because, like, to know that that's where we get our talent from, and it's beautiful to know that you make people happy when you sing.
So the Good Time Band, they played at jamborees, right?
Jamborees, Christmas.
Yeah. Can you imagine playing, like any of the musicians back then when we used to have square dances, playing until 7 in the morning?
I remember those days.
Yeah.
Like, and to play, like, I think my dad said they went for a little over 2 hours straight on a square dance.
Yeah.
And so I just thought of your fingers, like when you play guitar, you really have to have strong calluses on your fingers, and it's hard when you play for hours, but he said if you keep playing, it's easier. You get thick calluses.
Practice lots before each jamboree season. Yeah. And then so that's for your family. They're very musically inclined, and you picked up on that.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, and I liked how when you were writing your promo, you said that you started singing from a very young age. Yeah.
My mom said that I'm the oldest of the family. My parents had 8 children, and then they adopted 4 children. And so my mom said that, like I said, how did you know I was, like, I'm going to be a singer, or why did you make me sing? She said, it became apparent when you came out of the bedroom, when you first started talking and you started singing a song and just like going, ta-da! And she said they realized then when I first started talking and they were singing. Of course, they would play music in the house, they'd visit with others, and they'd have sing-alongs and whatnot. And so she said, right from when you could talk and you came out singing that song, I knew you were gonna be a singer.
So I'm gonna put this out there from what I know from your family. Good dancers, like drum dancing, jigging, and singers. Yeah.
We also have people that are really good in sewing and like artists, and I guess we always just tried what we can, and when I think about it, I think, I should be really proud of where I come from and all the talent that our family has, because I have a brother that could carve, and he does really nice artwork, and then like my younger sisters, they play the bass. I can't even play that bass, and one of them was giggling and saying, "It's really easy, you should learn." And I thought, no, I'll just stick to my guitar.
Yes.
But it's interesting, like, speaking of our family, we're known to play for funerals. Like we if we could make it to help people, to provide the music when there's somebody needs us there, we help them to play the music. And we've been like playing sing-along, like at the house, at my parents' house, they host sing-alongs a lot of time when there's people in town visiting. It was so neat one year before my dad really got sick with cancer. It was so neat. We were having a big sing-along at their place. There was well over 40 people in the house. And as I was sitting there and playing my guitar, and I looked around, and nobody else out of the family was playing guitar. It was all of just me and my siblings and my dad. And like my dad was just smiling, and he's playing bass, and he just smiled and looked at us like this. And then here's one of my sisters on the other guitar, another sister on another guitar, and then another one playing keyboard, and then my mom's coming in with her keyboard as well. So as I was looking around, I thought, nobody else is playing instruments. It's just my parents and their kids.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's so neat. I wish I could have gotten a picture that time.
Yeah. So those memories are so special.
They're so special.
Yeah. Before we get a little bit more, we have just a few more things. I wanted to talk to you and acknowledge that you have been a teacher here for how many years now?
I'm actually starting my 18th year teaching at the East 3 Secondary at the high school. And before that, I was an education assistant for 3 years. So I've practically been in the school for over 20 years.
And what you teach is very special.
Yeah. And you know, I teach the Inuvialuktun language, the Umagamutun dialect. And the stories years ago, they would say the language is dying. And I was in that same boat saying, the language is dying. But we were in a meeting here in this building quite a few years ago, and the next thing, this Gwich'in elder said, no, the language is not dying. Where do you think you got it from in the first place? And here I'm in that same boat. Yeah, the language is dying.
Yeah.
And then when he asked us that, he went like this. And silly me, I looked up. I felt so embarrassed because I looked up. He said the Creator. And then he said a really important thing that always stayed with me. He said, ask and you shall receive.
Yeah.
And I knew that was through prayer, you know. And so I went home, I cried, I said my prayer. And to date, like this has been quite a few years, to date I've had 2 elders come and visit me in my dreams, teaching me the language. And like it's amazing how much you learn when you really persevere and you pay attention to what the elders are trying to tell you.
Someone was asking me if, because I'm not fluent in the language, someone was asking me, do I think it's going away? Like, is it, what are my views on it? I'm like, personally, what I'm seeing as someone who's younger than your generation, but older than the next generation, I see the kids in school know so many more words and phrases than I knew. And I was still proud of what I know. Like, I still am proud of what I know. But it's so encouraging when you see, and I'm talking like 10 and under, these kids know words and phrases and how to express themselves in the language, and they're teaching me. And I just think that that's so amazing, and that's really encouraging. So whatever you and Miss Donna and Holly and Tuck, like all the language teachers, I think you can see the results is coming in through the younger ones.
So from when that Gwich'in elder mentioned, like, where did you get it from in the first place? Then I realized the language is not dying, it's sleeping. And it's up to us to help wake it up.
So it's really encouraging. And I'm really proud and happy for you as you're on your 18th year. That's a big year. Do you want to move into the singing portion
Sure,
now? Yeah. So we have how many? You have a bunch of songs here, but you've written a few of them, and you're going to share them today.
Yeah. So what I wanted to do this evening is to showcase the songs that I've written, and so I've been growing up singing mostly country songs, mostly gospel, because we do host the gospel sing-alongs at my parents' place. Like we've done that for years. And I was thinking, oh, do I really want to share my songs? Because my songs are written by experiences that like family experiences, or my friends who've been going through a hard time, or I actually was sitting with. This is the first song I ever wrote. It's called "Listen to Your Heart," and I was sitting with my good friend quite a few years ago. I think it was maybe in 2000. And she was so sad, and she was saying, I don't know what to do. And from the story she told me, I wrote this song. It's called Listen to Your Heart. Yeah, so it's just personal experiences. And I was thinking, I think I'm going to make people cry, but I would really like to showcase my own songs instead of singing somebody else's songs.
Yeah.
So I think I'll do that for you, just share my songs.
Yes, I'm really excited.
I hope people like them. and before I start, I don't have any CDs. You know, in the north we don't have people to record us on. So the recordings are mostly just me playing at home and just turn on my phone, or years ago the cassette, and you know, just singing at home, like home recording. So I don't have any CDs for sale.
Yeah. So you're gonna go ahead and share the song?
I'll go ahead and sing this. So this is the first song I ever wrote. Listen to your heart when it's telling you don't go. Remember that your child is there holding you, and so when times get tough, look to God. He'll surely take that pain. He'll deliver you and guide you through the hurt and pain you feel. We started out so full of love, and how we came to be. I took your name and gave to you the ones who call you Dad. So listen to your heart and what it's telling you, as our children need us in this world so full of trials and trails. Listen to your heart when it's telling you don't go. Remember that your child is there holding you, and so when times get tough, look to God. He'll surely take that pain. He'll deliver you and guide you through the hurt and pain you feel. Help me see where I've missed the love that you so seek. I'll try and fill all the holes that you are trying to fill. Remember the vows we took till death do us part. The hurt and pain will surely pass if we turn and look to God. So listen to your heart when it's telling you don't go. Remember that your child is there holding you, and so when times get tough, look to God. He'll surely take that pain. He'll deliver you and guide you through the hurt and pain you feel. He'll deliver you and guide
it's it does tug a little bit, but it's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And do you sing it often?
Not as often as I should. As you can see, I'm using a paper. Like, I should commit it to my memory. But I wrote this, like I said, in 2000, and sometimes when I feel like I need to be singing more, I grab the pages out and try to practice to get used to singing them. A lot of these, because they're my own original songs that I wrote, I might have forgotten how to sing it at the time that I wrote it, so I'm gonna see what it's like.
Yeah. Do you want to go on to your next song?
Oh, sure. So this next one was the second song that I ever wrote, and I call it Time and Again. And what I remember was, I could remember seeing this couple that they looked like they were so in love, and then all of a sudden, like, sadly, the husband passed away, and to look at his wife without her husband, that's what geared me to be writing this song. So it's called Time and Again, and I don't think I really perfected it, but I decided, like, thinking about the lady that lost her husband, I wrote this one. So it's called Time and Again, and it goes like this. Time and again, I'm thinking about the past years, the times when we were so in love. You came into my life with open arms. Those years will forever be with me. We shared our love so vast and friendly. Through the years, we've made our love well known. This love will forever be remembered in the faces of our children evermore. So please hold close the love you cherish, the lives you share would be so few. Remember to love, honor, and cherish till death do us part forevermore. When time has come to say our last words, we'll always have in our hearts the memories and wisdom we have learned in the love that has driven us. Never did I think that you would leave me. Your name was called too soon. Now all I have are the memories that I will hold so dear to my heart. Time and again, I'm thinking about the past years, the times when we were so in love. You came into my life with open arms. Oh, thank you.
They are really like heart tugging. They are. Yeah.
I don't know if I really should be doing this because a lot of us are going through a hard time, man. Yeah.
It's so nice though, because like I've been in a place where you lose someone and you were there singing, and it really does. It's not uplifting but comforting. Like it's very comforting.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So I was just leery about sharing my songs because they're practically a heart-wrenching songs.
But I'm at now that I've heard 2 songs and we're through the show, I'm just so happy that you came on and that you're sharing this.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it feels like a treasure, to have that. Yeah. I'm so happy right now. Yeah.
Nice.
Do you want to move on to your? How many songs did you bring?
I think I actually maybe brought 6.
6? Okay.
So I don't know, we probably still have quite a few minutes left.
Yeah.
So this next song that I wrote, I really like the story behind it because I had a friend that lived here like quite a few years ago too, and she came to me and she said, "Anna, I'm gonna move away." And I looked at her, and as she started telling me her story, I feel like I was pushed in a river. She was in a relationship here. She said, "I feel like I was pushed in a river. I tried and I tried to come back. Now I'm on the other side of the river. I'm just going to turn and walk away." I burst into tears because I thought, I'm never going to see her again.
Yeah.
She's going to move away. And so as we talked, we hugged each other, and then the next thing she went home. I grabbed my guitar and I was so sad. I'm going to lose my good friend. And, so I came up with, I can't say pushed in the river. And I thought, gee, when we write songs, it's like poetry. So I had to really think. So I couldn't say I've been pushed in the river. So I call it tossed in the river. So that's what it's called. I've been tossed in the river.
Yeah.
And the only thing I really do is sing the chorus because I loved it so much. I have a hard time to sing the verses that I added. So I hope I do it okay. Because I only ever sing the chorus. And it's catchy. Even though it's a sad song, I wanted to make it kind of fast, so it's not as slow as the ones I've been doing. So here's Tossed in the River.
Okay.
Maybe I should be using my I think I might need this. I thought I had it right. So it's called Tossed in the River, and I think I need to be singing it here. I've been tossed in the river. I've tried and I've tried to get back, but the current was too strong, and now I'm on the other side of the river. Now I'm going to walk away. That big old
embarrassed out of all. How is that one not playing on our radio? Do you know what I mean? Like how we have Northwind, Wanda, or afterwards when we have the language one, that should be playing on it. You know how every now and then we hear the crying song? Charlie, I don't know his last.
Panagonia.
Yes.
Yeah.
This should be like that. But I'm really happy that we have it here now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think, and this is the first time I'm ever going live. Well, I went on it. My songs are on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
But this is actually live, and it's like really public because people don't really know about my Kasuk Goyat Entertainment. I try to put our music there on Facebook.
Okay.
So if you type in that, you could see like videos of us performing. Like I tried to share.
On Facebook? What's it called?
It's called Kasuk Goyat Entertainment.
And you just search that on in Facebook and it'll come up.
Yeah.
Even I didn't even know about that.
So if you type in Kasuk and then you just go to space and then put a G, it'll show up. It'll come up.
Yeah.
Because Goyat Goyat in the language means family.
Oh. Okay.
So I decided to name that page because it's us trying to share our songs and the things that we do. Because I put things there of the kids singing, my nephew playing the fiddle, and.
Because Nolan plays the fiddle, right? Yeah. Yeah. How exciting. Okay, everyone, if you're watching, you can go and check that out. Yeah, that's really exciting. And that was probably my favorite one.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it sounds different. Yeah.
And it's upbeat. I didn't want it to be slow and sad. Like, even though it's kind of sad, it's about a breakup.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you think about all the country songs, like years ago, it was all... Like, that's how Loretta Lynn got famous, you know, singing these sad songs and whatever, so.
Exactly.
Yeah. But because I grew up in a Christian home, like, you know, we were always taught to be kind and to say our prayers. A lot of it has to do with spirituality. Well, gospel, you know.
Yeah.
Church stuff. And,
yeah.
And so
nice.
So, I should share this one. Was it a couple of years ago? Like, I always wanted to write a song for my dad when he passed away. You know, I was thinking, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna write a song, but I think it mostly geared towards my husband's dad because he was practically a minister. My father-in-law was Donald Pingo Sr. And he was actually Fraser's grandfather, and he was a really big part in who we are today. Like, he played a big part, and Fraser actually didn't even really hear this song, but we heard a Greenlandic song. Don't even know any of the words because they sang it in their language.
Yeah. We
couldn't figure out what, like, the story behind the song that they sang. It's such a heartwarming song. So what I did was I borrowed the melody, and then I wrote this song. I called it An Empty Chair. It's a sad song, but I tell you, it's so beautiful. I absolutely love the song, and so I borrowed the melody from that song. I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah.
But I call this one, this is like, if people are gonna recognize the melody, it's not what the Greenlandic people are saying.
Yeah.
It's just me enjoying the melody of the song and putting my own words to share a story about practically Fraser's dad.
Yeah.
And so, in honor of Donald Pingo Sr. and my dad,
and your
the
dad,
empty chair, it's called Empty Chair. Like, they're not there anymore.
I'm gonna try not to cry.
So it's a really beautiful melody, and I hope I could sing it the way I recorded it. So this is what it is, An Empty Chair.
Okay.
The stars shone so brightly this evening as Dad was called back home. He taught us to love for teaching us to pray. We believe that we'll see you someday. An empty chair sits where he once sat, where he shared all his love for the Lord as he prayed. He would pray hard for all of us sinners, that we will come to know him too. Dad, we love you and always will.
That's really sweet. I had to
Thank
like
you.
check out a little bit because it is really pulling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Fraser heard that song?
He did. I played it for him last week or the week before.
Yeah.
And so what I did was I sat down and grabbed my guitar, and after I sang a few songs, I looked at him. I said, Fraser, could you listen to this song? I said, who do you think of? Like, who do you think I wrote this for? He sat there and he listened. He closed his eyes, and when I was done, he said, my dad.
That's really nice. Yeah, no, I just felt a little pull. Yeah.
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 It's so personal, that, because you know we, as you know, people that live on this earth, we always lose somebody.
Yeah.
And someday that's going to be our time.
Yeah.
And the people that we love so much, we miss them. And you know, you always miss them, but it's always good to cry and share. And I think, like when I wrote that, use those lyrics, I thought I can't pass up not using those lyrics.
Yeah.
So just to let you know, that's not that Greenlandic song.
Yeah.
Beautiful song. Though.
Yeah.
You like the way they sing it in their language. It's so touching.
Yeah. You have one more song?
I have actually a couple more, but this one is just the last one here.
Okay.
So my husband comes from your family, the Grubin family.
Yes.
And when we heard the news that Nanny Persis had passed away, I sat and like I know my husband, he's proud of what I do, and sometimes he would say, when are you going to write something for my family, or you know, he'd suggest. And so when the time came when we heard that Nanny had passed, like we'd visit her, she had so much good stories. Like, wow, like she had such a crisp memory, like for being 101.
That's what I was just gonna say. My Nanny Persis Grubin lived to be 101, and she passed almost 2 years. Almost three.
Almost three, I think. And and so, like, when she'd tell us stories, like, she told me stories about my family that I didn't even know. And I'm looking at Fraser and I'm like, wow. I said, I can't even remember 1996. But she sat there and said, it was 1925. And like, I thought, how special is that to remember? And she knew the people from years ago. And so to live over 100 years old, like, you know, they say 100 is a century, and so that's what I put in. I put into the song. It was interesting the way it came about, because I think it was a couple of days, maybe even the day she passed, in the evening I didn't even know, like one of her children told me her favorite verse in the Bible was John 3:16. It ended up in my song. Like, the last part you'll see, it says she lived a century or more, you know? Like, and more, because she was over 100, and then like to teach her children, her grandchildren, her great grandchildren, like, and I don't have the part ready to play for you, but I asked Auntie Agnes White, I said, could I record you so I could put this in my song? I said, if you had one last word to say to your mom, what would you say to her in a short little, maybe 15-second recording I did where she's talking in Inavialak, and then she says something about amang, and I know she said you taught us, like, you know, to talk is to like ukauchik. She said, I know she said something about talking or speaking, and then she said we won't forget.
Yeah.
And thank you for teaching us how to pray. And so at the funeral, like, I sent the song to Uncle Chucky Graydon, her youngest son. I said, could you listen to this song? And so I sent it. Then he, after he heard it, he said, could you sing it at the funeral? And that was the first time I ever sang it in public at her funeral. And I almost lost it to start crying, because you have to be really strong to sing at a funeral.
Yes.
You want to cry like everybody else.
Yeah.
And so I had to really say a prayer and to sing for the people, to touch them. Because that's our main goal as, you know, growing up as in a Christian family. You want to make sure that tugs your heart, and you know where you know where to get that comfort from.
Yeah.
And so in the funeral, like, as I started to sing, as I saw people stand up to show respect, and like for the song that I wrote, I just about started crying, and I thought, no, I have to be strong. So I looked away, and like, my mom was a good teacher. She'd say banik, that means my girl, banik. If you start to lose where you are in singing, don't look at the people. Look over to the side and keep smiling. Look over this way. And if you make a mistake, don't stop and say, oh, I missed. Just keep singing. Like, I made a mistake singing that song before. I forgot a verse, and I just kept going. And see, if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't have known, because these are my original songs too. And so here, I just had to keep strong, and as I sang. But when I sing the verse a second time, I wanted to play Auntie Agnes sing her last words to her mom. And then, because she sounds so much like Nanny, people think, oh, Persis is talking. She sang her last words. So I have to remind people, it's Agnes, actually her oldest daughter, saying her last goodbyes. And
when we were at her funeral, I stopped, and I honestly, because they sounded so similar when they're talking in the language, I honestly thought it was my Nanny Persis. And my cousin Jocelyn said the same thing. I think that's Auntie Agnes. She was able to say it's Auntie Agnes. I thought it was my Nanny Persis. Yeah,
they sure sounded like, even their laugh.
Yeah.
So this is the song I wrote, and you know what? I didn't have a name for it as I wrote these words. But in my mind, and I say it in the video, it's on that Kasuk Goya, the recording. Somebody recorded me at the funeral, and I didn't have a name, and I showed it to Fraser, and I said, Fraser, what do you think the name of this song could be? But in my mind, I actually said Precious Soul. And so he read it, he looked at me, and I didn't even tell him nothing, and he looked at me, he said, Precious Soul. Okay, there's the name. And so that's what I wrote in honor of Nanny Persis Grubin. And so here it is, Precious Soul. But I just don't have Agnes sing her last goodbye. So it's still a nice song. So in honor of Nanny Persis and the Grubin family, I dedicate this song to you. So it's Precious Soul. The final page has been written. The book has been closed. Sorry, I gotta start all over. I'm going ahead of myself. Whew. I think I just got nervous. The final page has been written. The book has been closed. She took her last breath on this earth. An era of a lifetime is gone to rest. Oh, how we'll miss that precious soul. the Bible she read, John 3:16. Oh, how we'll miss that precious soul. She was called to the heavens, her work on earth is done, gone to be with loved ones above. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet her on that shore and sing Amazing Grace. She was called to the heavens, her work on earth is done, gone to be with loved ones above. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet her on that shore and sing Amazing Grace. Yes, we'll sing Amazing Grace.
I remember that song. I felt myself wanting to tear up. Yeah, that's a beautiful song, and that is my nanny to a T. If you knew my nanny. Yeah.
It's amazing how I was able to, like, I didn't even know, like I said, she liked John 3:16. And because I knew she was a strong person in her prayers too,
Yeah.
I wanted to add in there where, you know how they sing in the sweet by and
Yeah.
by, and then Amazing Grace, you know.
Yeah.
And then so I thought of the older songs and I put a little bit of those songs in there, and so I think I was pretty proud of myself to come up with that just really quick, because
I do remember you singing it at the funeral. As soon as you started, I remembered, not exactly the words, but I remember hearing it. And it is really just, she was a very strong Christian. Very, very strong. And I don't want to say stubborn, but stern in her ways. Yeah.
Well,
with her whole family.
Yeah, being 101, you needed to know, you know, the discipline and stuff.
I know, yes, I know. I love that song.
Yeah, thank you.
The third one is still my favorite. Tossed in the river. Yeah.
And so I've been really trying to focus, you know, amongst teaching and being busy teaching, because I teach at the high school. So I've been busy trying to get prepared for the beginning of the school year, but I really wanted to start trying to focus on writing a couple more songs, because they always say sometimes maybe 10 songs is an album. And so I have a friend here that's asking me, we should get together and record something, and then I could put it out there like professionally, and we'll see how that goes.
I really hope it happens. I think when, like, you're on national television right now, I think when things like this happen, it's just so exciting. So to go from being on national television and creating your I Hope It Happens, a CD, and I just think that those types of things are just so exciting. Yeah. After my nana passed away almost 2 years ago now, for me, I wanted to do anything that made me scared, like nervous and excited. That's like just experience life and just be nervous and excited.
Yeah, that's what we have to do. Like it was the hardest thing when I lost my dad.
Yeah.
Like I love my mom dearly. Like I absolutely love my mom so much. She's taught us to be such good people. Like she's got such a big heart, and to lose my dad was the hardest thing. For me. But I still feel like he's with me. It's interesting how how other people feel, but I feel like he's with me. And so
you can keep going.
And I think I'll share. I don't know if we have one little, like, to do one more song.
We do have enough time to do one more song.
And so I heard this lady sitting, like she was visiting my mom, and she had lost her husband. This is way before my dad got sick.
Yeah.
And she sat with my mom and she teared up and she said, "Oh, I miss my husband so much."
Yeah.
And that was so, amazing for me to hear, because I thought that must be the hardest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Because I could never imagine having to go through that. And
Yeah.
she said, "Oh, I wish heaven had a phone so I could call my husband."
Yeah.
So they went out for a little bit of fresh air, and
Yeah.
and so I sat because we were singing, and the next thing, with what she said, I got this song here, and it's a really short song. I'm currently trying to learn it in Inuvialukt, and if I can't squeeze the words that I actually say in English into my song in Inuvialukt, maybe I'm gonna just sing it, like speak the words in Inuvialukt exactly what I have in the translation.
Yeah.
Then sing it again, because I just sing it 2 times, like two parts of it. So it's it's such a heartwarming song. I call it Hello God.
Yeah.
And so it's on the Facebook page as well, but it's such a beautiful song. And I apologize for making you cry, but if you're gonna cry some more.
Every song is about love. That you have, even if some of it hurts, all of it's about love. Yeah.
And my hope is always just that it'll touch you when you need somebody to, like, just comfort, even if it's sad, because we all need to cry. We all missed somebody that's gone.
Yeah.
And so in honor of that lady, and I don't like to say names because some people might get offended, but when she sat and said that, I wish heaven had a phone, so I call it Hello God.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful song. So it goes like this. Hello God, it's me, I'm calling. Please pass this message for me. Hello God, it's me, I'm calling. Please pass this message for me. I wish heaven had a phone so I can call and hear your voice. I've been thinking about you these days. We'd laugh and talk again, reminisce about all the years. Oh, how I miss and love you so. Hello God, it's me, I'm calling. Please pass this message for me. Hello God, it's me, I'm calling. Please pass this message for me. I wish heaven had a phone so I can call and hear your voice. I've been thinking about you these days. We'd laugh and talk again, reminisce about all the years. Oh, how I miss and love you so. Yes, how I miss and love you so.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I loved it. Our 1 hour's done. I'm so happy that you came in and did the show, and that you shared. I don't want to say debut, but that you shared your songs on the show.
Yes, thank you so much for the invite.
Yes, I'm just not overwhelmed, but when you're just filled, like, when you're just so happy. Like those are the feelings I have right now.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I hope everybody else out there feels the same. That's my main goal, to put in your heart that you are all loved, you're all cared about, and you know we miss those loved ones, and you know we all go through heartache, and I hope that somehow it's healing for people that needed to hear.
I will say though that I'm happy, even though I got teary-eyed, that I didn't cry. I'm very happy. Like I didn't cry, but because you have to be professional. But yes, I did get teary-eyed. Yeah. So thank you for being on the show and sharing your story and your songs. I'm so happy that we've done this. Yes. So I'm gonna close the show now. Thank you all for tuning in on the Tunnganarniq Show, and we'll see you on the next episode. It'll just